Hey guys, Chris here with Treasure Loft Racing Pigeons. Do pigeon lofts need to be prepped for winter? Stick around because that's what we're talking about today. Well, the answer is it depends. So, depending on where you live, your location in the country, and your climate and your weather that you get, it's all going to determine what you need to do for winter. I live in Utah, and it's a part of the state where we get decent winters. We'll get down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit sometimes, but generally around 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit is as low as we get. So every loft, summer or winter, has to have the basic principles met in order for your loft to be healthy. Basically, you need ventilation without being drafty. It needs to be dry. It needs to have a somewhat consistent temperature. It needs to have good lighting, and your water needs to stay, has to be not frozen. And then you also need it to be clean, and in preparation for the winter, I'm going to disinfect. So I'm going to walk you through the process that I go through to get it ready for winter, and then afterwards I'll show you a few things and ask you what you guys think, what I should do, if there's anything that you would recommend I change. As you guys can see, the loft is super dry. Means my birds are very healthy. Had some really nice dry round formed droppings lately, and it's been great. I love having the little slats in the floor. Makes scraping easy. All you do is just scrape it, drop it down in the gap. And then twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, I get underneath with a rake and scrape out underneath. And easy peasy. You would think this kind of stuff would get a little bit boring or old, but I kind of enjoy doing this, scraping the floor. I call it my pigeon therapy. Go out and spend a few minutes just to do a mindless activity before the day starts. Alright, what I'm using here is just a regular old sprayer. You can get it at any big box store. It's a little pump sprayer. I've got one specifically just for the loft. So here what I'm using is a product called Burcon S. A little expensive. I wish you could get it in smaller containers, but unfortunately I couldn't find it in smaller containers. But this stuff supposedly does a great job. It's a commercial disinfectant, and it's always done well for me. So I use it a couple of times a year in the loft just to make sure stuff stays really clean. And then the second product I'm putting in here is permethrin 10. You can get that at your local Tractor Supply or Cal Ranch or IFA or whatever you have. And I'm just putting in the amounts of both of these that the manufacturer's instructions call for. Get this guy ready to go. We'll go in. I spray every surface I can reach with this stuff, but mainly where the pigeons stand and their droppings fall. Near the tops of the feeders. And on very rare occasions, I'll spray the inside of the feeders. Just get them clean. All right, I got everything sprayed down. I used Virkon S and I used a permethrin product to keep the bugs out. That's one thing I forgot to mention. It's actually really important. We got to take care of the pests. You've got mites of all kinds, and you've got mice, anything else that might cause your pigeons problems. So we'll look at that as well. But the next thing, after things are disinfected and clean, I'm going to check the ventilation. So here in Utah in the summers, it's crazy hot and I need a lot of ventilation. So along the bottom, I've got slats that let air through. And then I have this big gap running the whole length of the loft. The winters, however, are very windy, especially in this spot in my yard. And that is way too much ventilation. So I'm going to show you what I do. And just like that, nice and sealed up on the bottom. But I do leave a couple little sections like this open so the air can still flow. And if I see windstorms that are coming that are really strong, I just board that part up too. And again, during the summer, it's so hot, I have to have the top section of the loft ventilated really well. So I got these big panels up top so I can have a good 18 inches of open wall on the top to help with ventilation. But during the winter, all I do is suck those down. And then if I get super windy, I can put a little strip along the top there to help protect them. That creates pretty good ventilation for me. And then in the back, at the top, at the peak, I have these openings here to help the air go out. Some folks are pretty strict about the variation in temperature in their loft. Personally, I don't mind letting the birds get pretty cold as long as there's no drafts on them. When I added this clear roofing panel along the back wall here, this faces south. The sun comes right in through here, and when it's really cold in the winter, this heats up this place fairly well, and it's pretty consistently a decent temperature in here. So one of the reasons I've never done heaters to keep the inside of the loft super hot during this winter is because if we have a heater on in there and they're comfortable, their down remains pretty thin, so they don't put on a lot of insulating feathers. And then if the power goes out or if they lose the heater for whatever reason, then they end up getting a real extreme change in weather and temperature. And that's a big shock to their system. And I would rather avoid that and just let them live in a relatively cold environment that's consistent. The next problem I get that I have to worry about is freezing water. That's a challenge for a lot of guys up north. Here it's constantly frozen. So in the years past, all I've done is at night take the drinkers in and let them warm overnight, get fresh water in the morning, and then they freeze during the day, then bring them in the next night. This year I think I'm going to get a couple of aquarium heaters so that I can just keep the water warm and thawed the whole time. I'll show those as I get them. So when you get a cold winter and you get your freezing water, there are quite a few options you can do. One, you can just let it freeze, replace it first thing in the morning. I've seen guys use Tupperware or those rubberized bowls, kind of you get at Tractor Supply or something like that. And they have one they bring in, one they leave out. When the one outside freezes, they dump it out and they put a fresh one in. I've also seen guys use something as simple as an ice tray, where you make your ice in your freezer. You just fill your ice tray with water, bring it out, and when it freezes, you just twist it, crack the ice out, replace it. And then I've seen heaters, and one thing that I saw that was actually really cool was there was someone who built a box on the outside of their loft, lined the inside of the box with sheet metal, and then put a light bulb on the inside that reflected the heat back onto the water that they put in the box, and then they had no problems. That's a little complicated for me, so I'm just sticking with the simple heater inside the water. In the comments down below, let me know if there's anything you guys do that you prepare your loft for the winter with. Let me know if there's anything you recommend I do differently, and I'll take all the tips and tricks you guys have. All right, guys, so that is the basics of how I prep things for the winter. Get everything clean, disinfected, make sure everything is dry, make sure you have great ventilation, sunshine for warmth, no drafts, take care of the bugs, the mites, the mice, make sure that that's not around. And in an upcoming video, we're going to talk about what the birds need in preparation for winters. You know, if you live in Florida or if you live someplace in the South, Texas or whatever, you don't need to do a whole lot, obviously. But here we get cold enough that we have to do enough to keep the birds healthy. It's a pretty big stress on their body when they go into the seriously cold weather. And so we'll talk about that. We'll catch you guys on the next one.